What's going on, guys? This is Kobe with Sample Source, back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the funnel method for selling beats, and specifically selling beat packs and my experiences with doing it, the ClickFunnels method, the way that Gabe with Legion Beats does it, and what I do nowadays instead that earns me money off of selling beat packs, and how you can do the same thing. So let's get into the video.
I appreciate all the support. If you guys would like and comment and subscribe to the channel, then we'll get into the video.
So this is going to be a great video for you guys if you're looking at selling beat packs and doing unconventional methods of selling beats online. So let me first tell the story of how I got into selling beat packs and what I'm doing currently instead that is earning me revenue from selling beats. So before I quit my job 2 years ago to sell beats online, I was trying a lot of different methods for selling beats. And so the main method that I was using was just selling through direct messages on Instagram, and that's the method that I still use to this day, but I was selling individual beats instead of beat packs. So that is the key differentiator that I want to point out, is that a lot of people have tried the ClickFunnels method and maybe it didn't work for them, but they never tried to sell beat packs in a more unconventional method than going through Facebook ads and stuff like that. But when I first started out, I was listening to, I think it was the Producer Grind podcast, and they had Gabe with Legion Beats on, talking about how him and Anno Domini had made $1 million each off of selling beats through ClickFunnels. And so if you don't know what ClickFunnels is, basically it is a landing page. And if you don't know what a landing page is, then basically that's somewhere that you go to when you swipe up on one of these ads, and they try to get your information, like an email or first name or something like that, so they can get you into their list, or they try to sell you something. But basically it's a very fancy opt-in page, and it costs you about $100 a month, and you can do all different kinds of upsells and downsells and different offers through it if somebody wants to buy your products, and you can slide them to different pages if you want them to check out your offers, if it's just a regular opt-in for a free product. So basically what Gabe wants you to do is to run Facebook ads. And so if you don't know what Facebook ads are, basically you go to a page called Facebook Ads Manager, and you can run these to any one of the networks that Facebook owns. So this can be Instagram, this can be WhatsApp, and a whole host of other different platforms that you can run it on. But basically what I would do is I would just run this to my Instagram stories. So it would only run to Instagram stories. It wouldn't run on the Facebook feed or Instagram feed at all. And so this is because those ads are a lot cheaper. So this is something that Dylan Graham recommended me whenever I talked to him on a consultation call a few years back before I quit my job. So basically it's a lot cheaper to run on the Instagram stories because they're not as oversaturated, or at least at the time they weren't as saturated as the Instagram feed and Facebook feed. So you want to run your ads where it is cheapest to run them and you can get a maximum result. So that's what I started doing. So basically somebody would run across your ad, they would swipe up, they would get some free beats from you, and then ClickFunnels, the way you had it set up, it would slide them to a thank you page, and on the thank you page there would be a video of you talking about how they've just gotten the 3 free beats, and then you can tell your story as a producer and try to get the artist to buy an offer from you. So now that we're getting to this stage, I want to talk about what Gabe's offer was, what he recommended, what I tried, and then what I'm doing now. So what Gabe would do, I believe it was something like 80 to 100 different beats, and they would be for around the price point of like 24, 25 bucks, maybe 29 at the most. But a lot of the times it's like 19 or even $15 to get access to basically 50 to 100 different beats. This was highly effective for Gabe because he had his funnel optimized on the front end so that a lot of people would opt into the email list. A lot of people would end up buying on the front end, but also if they didn't purchase on the front end, he would send them a lot of emails in a chain and sequence called an email drip to them so that they could purchase later on down the road. The follow-up email sequence is essential if you're trying to get into this market space, because a lot of people are not going to buy stuff whenever they first are getting to know you. That's kind of the whole point of the video, is that you can kind of introduce yourself to them. You can tell them a story and it's going to impact them in some way. Maybe they relate to it in some way, shape, or form, and then they're going to end up purchasing a beat from you, or in this case, a beat pack. So he runs his emails through MailChimp. This is probably the most popular email platform out there. I know some other platforms people use are ones like GetResponse, and BeatStars is also integrated with Aweber, which I might try in the future. And the thing about MailChimp is, although it's free to start and you get up to 2,000 subscribers for free, if you want to use the automations to get the email drip sequence to send automatically, that's going to cost you around $34 a month, at least for me, because I have over 700 subscribers. But if you have less than that, it might be a little bit less. As a side note, I want to tell you the story about how I burned through almost $1,000 that was non-refundable using GetResponse. So this is what Dylan Graham recommended me to use for email sequences, because their email drip is just so much more effective and more in depth than MailChimp, at least at the time, because I know MailChimp has added some new features that might actually equate to the same level as GetResponse. So I decided to sign up for GetResponse, and I did the free trial, and then it got to the point where I was gonna have to pay for their services. And this is where I made an incredibly critical mistake of signing up for a year without even checking their refund policy, which is no refunds, period. So I signed up for a year. I realized that it was not going to work for me, and basically they have a lot of spam filters, and a lot of my emails that I gotten using the scrape method that Gabe with Legion Beats had recommended some years ago were actually triggering a lot of those spam filters, and my open rates were incredibly low for GetResponse. So I decided to switch over to MailChimp, and I tried to go and get my refund from GetResponse, and it turns out that they actually didn't offer anything as far as refunds. So I burned probably like, I want to say $600 to $1,000 just completely gone. There's no way to get my money back. So that is what I want to let you guys know, is that do not sign up for a annual fee if you don't already know that you're going to use all the features on that platform. Anyways, I'm going to get back to the main thing that I was talking about, which is using the drip sequence and how critical that is. So when you set this up, basically you're going to have a welcome email that's going to have their free beats in it, and then you also want to include the video that shows your offer. And if they don't click on this offer and they're not going to buy it immediately, that's fine, because you can just start sending them a bunch of value emails that they're going to open, they're going to find value in, and then they're going to start to trust that you're a source of information and somebody that's actually trying to help them instead of just get something for yourself from the artist. So in these value-based emails, you're going to send something and you're going to expect nothing in return. There's no links to buy any products or anything like that. It's for the single purpose of finding something that the artist is going to enjoy, that is going to help them with their music career. So this is the way I market to my list now, without using an email drip chain, but to just send them a ton of value-based emails, and when they find value in it, probably about after 3 of those emails, I'll send them an offer that says to check out my beats and see if they want to purchase any, and I'll have some coupons and things like that underneath the email. So this is where I think a lot of producers fall short as far as email marketing is. You have to have what's called copywriting skills. This has nothing to do with actual rights to copy or anything like that. Copywriting, when it comes to marketing, is basically how to write something that engages people from start to finish and guides them through the process of how to actually buy something from you, as far as turning into a fan and eventually a customer. This is critical, and I don't think that a lot of producers are very great at communicating when it comes to using copy. And this is something that takes a lot of time and dedication to understanding how to influence people using word-based communication. I know that producers are good at making music that engages artists on an emotional level, but when it comes to using words to get that exact same emotion, it's a lot harder to actually draw that emotion out of somebody using word-based communication. So now that I've talked about the email drip and I've talked about ClickFunnels, I want to talk a little bit more in depth about Facebook ads. So when it comes to using Facebook Ads Manager, you can run these to any platforms, but as I discussed earlier, I prefer to run them to Instagram story ads, and I'm actually about to start up a new campaign for just this purpose. So when it comes to running Facebook ads, it's incredibly difficult to set up an effective ad using Facebook, because there's so many different parameters that you have to look at and try to engage with, and it takes Facebook a long time to actually calibrate your ad, to actually optimize it for finding your ideal customer. So if you need more information on Facebook ads, I would recommend checking out Mike Trampy's videos. DJ Payne and Mike Trampy actually get into this. Mike Trampy works for BeatStars, and he does a lot of their campaigns. And DJ Payne has a lot of knowledge on running Facebook ads, since he's been doing it for far longer than most producers. You might even be able to find some Anno Domini and Gabe with Legion Beats. Maybe they're training videos for their webinars and stuff, but they might have some information on actually running Facebook ads, finding your ideal customer and things like that. So basically, this is something that Gabe with Legion Beats talks about. When running a Facebook ad, you're trying to find your ideal customer, which they call an avatar of somebody that would buy beats from you. This involves what country they're from, what their interests are, what kind of demographic they're in, whether it's male or female. And this is all incredibly important to optimizing your ad. You don't want to start wasting a bunch of money on Facebook ads if you already don't know what kind of ideal customer you're looking for. And this is important because you're going to burn through a lot of money when you start trying to optimize a Facebook ad. There's just no way to really get around that. And this is because Facebook needs to generate a lot of different information and start figuring out, how to calibrate their ad and make it more efficient over time. So it takes a while for Facebook to do this, but it's definitely worth it, because in the end, if you have quality beats, if you have a good brand, then it's going to be worth bringing customers into your fan base and getting their data so that you can market to them. So this is important to get the data, because you can then market to that email list, and you can try to get them onto a text list. You can try to gravitate them towards your social media and start to market to them on that as well. But overall, you want to be acquiring data, and this is going to help Facebook in the long run, especially once you get to a large amount of this, because then you can start running an ad based on what's called a lookalike audience. And once you get a lookalike audience, this is going to be the best thing for Facebook to actually start calibrating your ads even better. So if you build up a list of, like, let's say 1,000 or 2,000 different artists, you can actually use this as a lookalike audience and download what's called the CSV file from MailChimp or Aweber or whatever kind of email provider you're using. And you can plug that into your Facebook ads and make a lookalike audience. So back when I was running my Facebook ad using the Gabe with Legion Beats ClickFunnels method, I was spending $100 a month on the ClickFunnels. I was spending probably $100 to $200 a month on Facebook ads, but I only earned about $75 to $150 off of people actually buying the beat pack. So I was far from profitable. And long story short, I closed down the ad. I stopped doing it because I was saying this doesn't work. I'm not able to make a profit off of this. But this was the wrong conclusion to make, because you can make a profit off of this. And actually, you don't even have to run ads to do that. But I think that ads will be the best method, and that's what I'm about to get into. So you can actually make a landing page for free with MailChimp, and this will collect email addresses for you. You can set it up so that whenever they get to the thank you page, they can download your beats. You can attach them through Google Drive or whatever method so that they can download your free beats. They're on your email list, so you can market to them later. I would suggest that you would upgrade to the MailChimp automations one so that you can send them the email drip. You can set up a long chain of emails that they're going to receive in order to guide them through the process of getting to know you, know that you're trying to help them as an artist, and that you have some value to provide them in the form of beats as well as information on how to help their careers. So a side note is you want to have it set up so that if they're not opening the emails, they're actually resending the same email to them, maybe with a different subject line so that they think it's a different email, so that in succession they can see the story that you're trying to tell them, all the value that you're providing. So that's something that you definitely want to make sure you have set up. So once you have this landing page made with your welcome email and your free beats or whatever kind of free value that you want to offer artists, this can be anything like a business plan. It can be a list of A&Rs. It can be a list of contacts or something like that to help them. Maybe it's a guide on mixing their vocals or setting up a home recording studio. But anyways, once you get that set up, you want to put that link in your link tree or whatever in your bio. So whenever they're checking your beats out on social medias, or if they're checking your beats out on YouTube, they can go and click that link and it'll send them to the page to get the free beats or whatever kind of value you have to offer. Now they're on your list, and if you've upgraded to some kind of automations in your email provider, then you can start sending them email sequences. And that way you can guide any lead into turning into a potential prospect as a customer. So this is how I made $200 off of one sale. I started to think about how low ticket what Gabe with Legion Beats is doing, with $15, $20, $25, $30 being your price for selling these beat packs and selling like 100 beats. I just feel like that doesn't make sense, because your margins are going to be so small and you're going to need so much data so that you can get your customer leads very cheap. That it just doesn't make sense to me, because you're going to need to put thousands and thousands of dollars in there before you even get to the break-even point. Most of these producers out here that are running these ads are just breaking even or they're losing money off of it. I think there's a guy, Flip Tunes, I want to say, is his producer name. You guys can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that, but he sells, I think, 96 beats and they all have hooks to them. I think they're pop beats. And I feel like this is a great way to sell beats because he's been running the ad for a long time. So he's got all his data together to where he's probably optimized everything so that he's actually making a profit off of this. But I will say that most producers can't do this. They can't offer as much value and make it a professional ad and have 96 beats with hooks. So you're gonna have to come up with a different way to sell them. This is my belief. I believe that beats are a lot more valuable than $20, $30. So I would never go that low as far as selling beats. But I will sell beat packs. I put one together and basically what this beat pack has is 40 different beats, and I sell this for $200. So this ends up being in a different price range than the other one. So that's the low ticket where you have like $30 for 100 beats. Then you're gonna have your mid ticket, which is where I'm sitting at, which is $200. And then you're gonna have something that's higher ticket. Let's say Bricks Domain is a good example of selling high ticket products. His beats are gonna be probably $1,000 minimum. He probably sells his beats for like 5, 10K. So you're gonna have a lot less artists that are interested in that, but the ones that are interested in high ticket are not gonna buy a beat from Bricks Domain for $30 because that would demean all the value that he is trying to provide. So you have to think about the customer avatar that is buying these beat packs for cheap. So they're probably somebody who's new to music. They're probably new to leasing beats in general. So whenever they see an offer where they can get 100 beats for $30, this is going to be something that is pleasing to them and something that they're very interested in buying. But a seasoned artist that is releasing music, that has bought exclusives in the past, spends money on unlimited leases, they're not gonna be interested in buying anything for $30, and they probably don't have the budget to spend on something like the high ticket products that some of these premium producers are offering. So this is where you have to offer something different. And I think that that's where the mid ticket offer comes in, which in my case is $200, and you get 40 beats. And basically these beats are divided into Chris Brown, Summer Walker, Roddy Ricch, and Drake type beats. So they get 10 of each beat. They get the MP3, the wave, and the stem track outs. And I'm thinking about throwing in some more value for them as well. But I think that when it comes to selling beats, I don't want to have kind of one of these infomercial type offers where they receive like 200,000 different things and they can't even, you know, really find out what kind of value it is, because everybody says like, this is a $5,000 value and they're gonna sell it for $30. That just doesn't make sense to me. I don't see, if it's worth $5,000, why somebody would want to pay any less than that amount. So I would never tell somebody, hey, this is worth this much, but I'm just going to cut my prices down to almost nothing just to get a sale. I feel like that's cheap, and that's not something that I personally want to do as a producer. So I actually sold a couple of these beat packs, and I sold them without running an ad. So I think that this is valuable information for you guys as far as selling beat packs. If you want to get into that, it's a lot easier to sell a lot of beats in a pack than it is to sell one beat, unless the artist is just falling in love with that beat. When it comes to selling beat packs, the way that I sold this pack was I actually had set up the landing page and it had gone through an email sequence. So basically this is the way that I had my, my welcome email set up. Whenever they opt in to get the free beats, they get sent to a private YouTube video link that's unlisted. Whenever they watch the video, they see that I've worked with certain artists and that I'm open to working with them one-on-one. So the one-on-one opportunity, basically they would have to book a call with me, and whenever they book a call with me, I will let them know that my services, you know, for custom beats, for exclusives, to get free mixing and mastering, you know, the service that I provide, you have to pay $1,000. So a lot of artists are not ready to pay $1,000. So in knowing this information that they're not quite ready to spend, you know, a band on a custom beat or an exclusive just to get free mixing and mastering, I have what's called a downsell available for them to purchase. This is where the beat pack comes in. They can spend $200 and get 40 beats, get all unlimited rights to distribute them. And this is only $200 instead of spending $1,000 for one beat that gets free mixing and mastering. So somebody opted into the email. They saw that I was offering one-on-one opportunities. So I got on a phone call with them and I let them know it's gonna be $1,000 to work with me one-on-one to get access to free mixing and mastering. And you could tell from the phone call that he just wasn't really interested in spending that much money on a custom beat, especially with him being in college still. So this is where the downsell came into play. and I offered him the 40 beats for $200. He actually cashed out me the money literally right as we got off the phone, and I hadn't even finished the beat pack yet, so I had all the beats compiled, but I just didn't have them uploaded to cloud servers such as BeatStars or Google Drive or Dropbox or any of that. So I sold the beats, and the phone call did not even take 5 minutes to do. So this is something that I would encourage you to do. If you haven't already, I'm gonna try to put up on the screen somewhere my video that shows how I sell beats over the phone. I would encourage you to watch that video, and it shows my process for getting artists onto a phone call. I think that this is important because you can sell so many beats over the phone. And this is my primary way of making income as a music producer, is listening to someone's story, seeing if they're trying to produce, seeing if they're trying to release new music, and then trying to figure out a formula for getting them to work with me and having them come out a satisfied customer and receive a lot of value from me. So I've sold a couple packs like this. Bottom line, it took me probably 15 to 20 minutes to sell these, and I would encourage you guys to try out this method at first. If it doesn't work, then you can try to run the Facebook ads and get them into your funnel, and try to run email marketing to them, and then maybe market a $200 product to them instead of a $30 product. And that way you can earn a decent amount of money off your beats. You don't have to sell like 1,000 beats a month in order to make a living off of this. You can sell maybe 20 of them. And so that's something that I would encourage you to think about, is not selling yourself so short that you have to have a huge amount of volume coming into your business in order to make a living. And whenever you have a potential high ticket customer, don't turn them away without giving them an offer for something that's less valuable, maybe that they might still be interested in. So I hope this video has helped you guys today. If it has, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We just crossed over 1,000, so I'm really excited to be able to share this information with you guys. This is literally everything I do to make a living off of selling beats online. If you want all of this information compiled into an easy to follow guide, I actually have a beat selling guide, and that's gonna be the link in my bio. So you can go and purchase that if you wanna learn all of the methods I use to sell beats, and it's all in one comprehensive guide. I also have consultations available if you guys wanna sit down one-on-one and have me develop a strategy specifically for you. Have me check out your BeatStars, your website, see if it needs any tweaks. Check out your YouTube channel and do some keyword research for you to find something that better optimizes you for success on YouTube. But I really appreciate all the support. If you've ever liked a video, watched a video from me, it means a lot to me, and I will see you guys in the next one.
If you want a one-on-one consultation with me, then check out the link below to set that up. And if you want to learn how I make a living selling beats online, then check out my beat selling guide below.